Welcome to Magic.ai, the operating system for hospitality. At Magic, we know an operating system is more than just software and systems. It's about people, because hospitality is nothing without them. So supporting the hospitality community is our number one goal.
I think there needs to be more of a support system. Like, you have to love this business and you have to love every aspect of it, including sharing tribal knowledge on what is successful and also tribal knowledge of what is a failure.
Founded by lifelong experts, we're building the place where everyone in hospitality, from seasoned pros to first-timers, can gather, share, and grow together. Plus, we're crafting scalable tools and AI-supported software to boost your business. Dive into our vibrant community platform packed with meaningful conversations and robust tools and templates designed just for you. Need more? Our custom software solutions have got you covered. From recruiting and staffing to digital playbooks and dashboards, we're working on building a unique hub of resources unlike any other. Magic is your single point of origin for important conversations, accessible tools, valuable insights, and more. Join us at magic.ai. The evolution of hospitality is here.
Brands are a little complicated to work with. Like, there's big brands of flour and tomatoes, and you gotta like really present yourself and like make sure like they trust the process. And what happened with Latinos in pizza is like people really love it. People really know how like great the Latino community is in this country and how well involved in the restaurants they are, you know, like how important for the restaurants the Latino community is. And we want to like be part of that and make sure we get this movement going.
Juan Perez is a globally acclaimed pizza chef, celebrated for his mastery of Neapolitan-style pizza. Originally from Colombia, Perez honed his craft in Boston, where he helped establish Posto as a leader in authentic Italian cuisine, earning recognition on the prestigious 50 Top Pizza list. Ranked among the world's top 100 pizza chefs, Perez combines traditional techniques with modern creativity, inspiring over 436,000 followers on Instagram. His dedication to the art of pizza making has earned him a place as a culinary trailblazer and a mentor in the pizza making community.
There's so many new pizzerias opening around us. For some people in the company, they were worried about it. They're like, oh, there's so many pizzerias doing the same kind of thing that we do opening. And, you know, we got to compete with them. We got to do a lot of promotion. And I was like, I think the best promotion we can do is the good quality, because everybody will go to the new restaurant no matter what it is. Actually, for me, the second time was the most impressive one, because usually like they nominate a lot of new restaurants. Like the list change every year and you see mostly new restaurants on the list. And I was more impressed about the second time. But the first time, you know, I've been following this Italian website for a long time. Yeah. It's called 50 Top. And I heard about it like from many people that, you know, when they go to Europe, they use this platform to visit the best restaurants. And I was like, oh, I wish we can, when they made it on it. So, you know, I was like very focused on the goal. I was like, I gotta make the restaurant go to the list.
Gotta be on there.
Yeah. And I was like, I gotta push, I gotta try it. You know, I was tagging them. I was like, you know, calling their attention. I was like, you know, I always say that you have to like, you know, make sure people see you. It's like, you know, work hard, but, you know, somehow like try to push yourself in outside, you know, like so people can see you. So,
how did you
know,
do that in this case?
Like
how did you make sure that they saw you?
Social media, you know, like all the views and, you know, somehow you got to call the attention of them. Like, you know, of course I was tagging them on the pictures and the most beautiful pizzas I was making. And, you know, like somehow they start like looking at it and it's good because it's, so they send somebody to the restaurant. They don't tell you when they're going to go. It's just like they go, they check it out and it's just like, they don't tell you that they're going to be there. So I like that because, you know, if you know that somebody like that is going to go to your restaurant, you're going to make sure like everything's perfect. But it means more because, you know, like every day, not only for them, but for the regular customers, like for the regular guests, you're like giving them like the same attention, the same hospitality. So the first time I remember it was probably like a month before the ceremony. We do this like bi-weekly meetings with the owner and like the management team. And I was mentioned something about the Boston Pizza Festival that I was invited to do a demo. And one of the managers was like, hey, talking about pizza and things like that. Like I got this like scam email from that we won an award or something. And I was like, oh, really? Like, from who? And she's like, oh, from 50 Top. Like, I was like, what? From what? It's like 50 Top. And I was like, did they ask for money or something? And she's like, no. They just want to know who's going to go to New York and get the thing. And I was like,
the award.
and I was like, no way. Can I see it? And she showed it to me. And I was like, oh my God, I've been trying so hard to get in this list for years. And it was funny because, we almost like missed the opportunity to actually be at the ceremony.
Oh my gosh.
Because
that's really funny.
They didn't know. And, I explained them. I was like, oh, this is this, and what they do. And, they were excited. And so we went the first year. And, like myself, I love the pizza industry and love being around the best pizza makers in the country and the world. Mm. And when I get to the gala, I was looking at the best, like the best of the best of the pizza world in the
intimidating,
country.
yeah,
very intimidating. And some of them know me, and like I went with my wife, and I was like, trying to say hi to some guys, and the other ones, like, I know they're looking at me, and I was like, oh, this is very impressive to be here. I was like, in Haven, I was like, oh, so impressed.
Did you guys talk pizza? Were you like, so tell me about your pizza?
What's your hydration level? Yeah.
It happens. But mostly what they say to me the first time they always see me is like, oh, I seen your videos. I see what you're doing, System. I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, oh, thank you for supporting and watching it. And then once you get more like close to them, they're like, hey, like, I love what you do. Like, oh, what's the temperature on this? Like, they don't really ask many like questions. So everybody has a different way to do the pizza, but it's fun to be there, being around them, and like get pictures with everybody. And then the second year, I was, I wasn't very positive. I was like, hey, you know what? We made it to the list. It's cool. It's nice. But of course, we keep working hard. I would keep telling my team, like, hey, make sure like we keep doing better than we did last year. We
keep
gotta
the bar high.
Yeah, we gotta show them like we deserve to be on this list. And second time, I got to the office and I saw the email. I was like, oh man, it was more impressive to me. I was like, oh, we made it 2 years in a row. It means awesome. A lot. Yeah, we went down a few positions, but still, it's just like the fact to be recognized by them is what it means a lot to us.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned your social media, and you have really proven, which I think we knew, that people are really pizza obsessed in our country.
People love that. Yeah.
And you have over 250,000 subscribers across your platforms. So can we talk a second about how you built your personal brand and how you built your incredible social media following?
Of course, yeah. I have 3 main social media pages. They're all 1G Pizza, but my main one is Instagram. That's what I do, more professional thing. That's what I connect with more people. And then I also have a TikTok. It's just like I'm reposting the videos there, and it has grown so much this year. I think I'm like 200,000 or something like that in TikTok.
Oh, wow.
Facebook, it's also it's a very more international platform. I get more like people from the outside the country on there. I have 207. Almost 280,000 there.
So you're over 500,000 by...
I think combinate, if we talk about between all of them, it's like over 900,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Instagram, it's 478,000.
Was it 478?
Yeah, I'm going to get to the 500,000 to it. So
that's amazing.
And I've been more focused on Instagram because, you can see how, like, what countries, is, like the list of the countries that follow you and like, all that. And then like US is it's my top first. So it's pretty cool because I'm, I'm based in the United States, and what I do, it's always local, but also somehow go international too. But like my top is US for following, which is great. And then I got like Argentina, Brazil, like people in South America are getting very into this like pizza world now. It's very global.
So it's just kind of been viral through your posting, you think, and making sure that...
Yeah, so I started my page around 2012. Like, it's been like 12 years. Like, I remember, and I said this before, that when I started posting on Instagram, it was only pictures. It was only photos. It was no video.
That's right. There was no video. Yeah.
So when the videos things start going on, I was like, I'm just going to post with my iPhone 6. It was like no good quality, like, I'm watching those videos and they're like very bad. But people was like, oh, how many pizzas do you have in the oven? I was like, oh, I don't know, like 12, 14, something like that. And we're talking about like 800-degree oven, like flaming out, like it's crazy. But like for us, it's something that we do every day. But for the people outside, or when you grab your phone and you're like, oh wow, look at the fire, look at how fast they go. I think that was like the most impressive thing. And when the pandemic was here, that everybody was home, I think social media like grows so much, and that helped me too, because like people got obsessed with the sourdough thing, and everybody was, they want to make pizza at home and baking, and I started looking at the increase of numbers and views and everything, and then big pages like Tasty and Food 52, those pages are looking at my videos, and they're like, oh, can we repost it? And that helps to increase the following, and it's just like, I also help a lot because people like send me direct messages like asking things, and like I'm always open to help. So
that is true. I have reached out to you with some questions from time to time, and you've always been very responsive. So thank you.
I like that. I'm not like, I don't believe that I know so much, but what I do and what I what I like to do, and that's what I tell people, like, hey, look, this is how I do it. I've been in professional courses. Like, I had a Neapolitan certification from ABPN. I did like a 40-hour course in Atlanta this year. I actually got the highest score that they ever done in the country.
No kidding.
Which was really cool. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
that was
really
funny.
cool.
Because they make you a test, right? A writing test. And I was like, I'm not very good at studying and like reading stuff, but I'm good at the practice. And, like at the end of the week, the vice president from the Vera Pizza Napolitana, ABPN, is the main thing for Neapolitan pizza. They are like on live video. They watching you, like they qualify your process. So it's very like nerve-wracking. And also you're making the pizza dough the day before. And it's like, you got to make it perfect or it's not going to work. And, I was like, I've done this many times, millions of times. And I was just like, focus myself on that. And I did it. And yeah, the people there was impressed because they were like, oh, they don't give you like high scores to people in the US. Like mostly the high scores like given to them in Naples. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I did it well. And I was more impressed that I trust myself a lot. I'm very proud of what I do, but in those circumstances, you're like, oh, maybe I'm not that good. You're
guessing yourself. You're
like, because it's like a Neapolitan, but they're very like, the rules are very clear. Like you cannot go higher than that, like water, all that stuff. And yeah.
So all of that aside, you're not in this for the accolades, right? Like you fell in love with working with pizza at California Pizza Kitchen.
Yes, that's correct.
And what was it about that environment at CPK? That's what we used to call it in my family growing
CPK,
up. CPK,
yeah. That's how I call it, CPK.
What was it in working in that environment at CPK that inspired you to continue the art of pizza?
Yeah. So when I started working for CPK, I started working as a dishwasher. I was working back in the dish pit, and they have this timer that has to go, like, it goes off like every 10 minutes. So when it goes off, and you sweep the line. Always, every 10 minutes, you switch with the other guy.
Yep.
And there were like older people working the pizza line. And every time I was sweeping, one of the guys was like, hey, Juan, you should like learn how to make this pizza. And I was like, maybe. So, I was looking at them, how they make it. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like it was 2010. I was 2 years here in the country. My English was not very good and all that stuff, right? I was just very new. And, every day, sweeping, and I started like, oh, I like this. I like making the pizza and all this stuff. And somehow, like after like 2-3 weeks, one of the guys called off. I think it was late or something, but somehow he didn't show up. And the kitchen managers, because they don't have chefs, they have kitchen managers. He's like, hey, want to watch you making pizza? Like, you want to try it tonight? Like, we need a hand here. And I was like, oh, of course, yeah. So I did it, and I was like, yep. He didn't say nothing. He didn't say good job, nothing. I was like, oh, cool, whatever. The next like couple days later, they sent a schedule, and I saw that I had a day in pizza the next week. And I called my mom. I was like, oh my God, like, oh, like I'll freak out. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna like do this, and wow. And then I started like working pizza one day, and then 2 days, 3 days, and So I was like, at the end for like a year, I worked 4 days in pizza and 1 day at the dish still for like a year, Sunday mornings. And I never actually wanted to tell the kitchen manager about it. I was like, I mean, if you do it, it's for some reason. But like after a year, at some point after this year, I was doing expo. I was like, I learned everything, and I was doing expo Saturday night, and then dishes on Sunday morning. And at the middle of the rush, they're like, Juan, go to the line. And I was like, oh, I'm washing dishes. I'm not gonna go there. And then one day I was like, hey, I gotta ask you something. Like, it's been a year. I've been working pizza. Like, I learned, and why I'm still working here. And he's like, oh, because like I've seen something on you special, and I don't want you to forget where you came from. And I was like, oh yeah, but it's been a year.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think I know now already. Yeah. Like, trust me, like I'm not gonna forget this. He's like, okay, all right. And then like they so it's a big preparation. So like you have to go through a lot of process. Like it's not like not gonna grab like a handful of cheese. It's like grab a cup.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the corn. It's like very like strict. So every time you want to learn something, like you have to read a book and go to different stations. And I started doing that process, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like I was really falling in love with that. They open many restaurants in the country, so they get the best people from each restaurant to go open those restaurants. And that was one of my goals, to be training and start traveling and all that stuff. But at the same time, I find this job, this other restaurant, which was Posto, which and totally different, like small place, fresh cheese, fresh dough, like California Pizza Kitchen, everything is frozen, it's just a big corporation. Like the only thing that is fresh is the produce, basically. So I was like looking at both things, like, wow, like what way I'm going to go forward. And, that now to answer your question, I don't want to go.
You made your choice. I think it's worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
So in that transition from CPK to Posto, I can only imagine that, the workflow is extremely important, and you guys are really dependent on having proper systems in place. I know that pizza is one of those foods that has to be replicated with consistency and attention to detail. Can you talk a little bit about the systems that either you've created or that are in place at Posto to ensure that like every single pizza that comes out of that oven is exactly the same?
Yes. Pizza, and this kind of pizza is a little more complicated, because you have to like the key of this pizza.
That's Neapolitan style.
Yeah, Neapolitan style. The key of this pizza is the resting time, like the slow resting, the fermentation. Like you cannot make this pizza and use it in a few hours, like some other type of pizzas. Like, usually like pizza had to like rest for like, in my opinion, for Neapolitan has to be, the classic rule is 24 hours, but for us, it's like over 2 days.
Wow.
So you got to make sure you always keep dough, like always has to have dough in the cooler, because you don't want to run out of dough, because, it's not going to look same quality. So when I started working for Posto, they were doing sourdough. So you have starter, and then they like feed in the batches of dough with starter. And I personally doesn't like it so much. Just the flavor for my liking. I know people love
sour or what?
Sour, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that traditional for Neapolitan?
Not really. No.
Yeah, I didn't think
Neapolitan
so.
is something called direct, which is fresh yeast or instant yeast, but or dry yeast. You can use any type of yeast. But now it's like Biga and Polish, different kinds of things. But yeah, at the moment they were using that, and I was just a pizza cook. I worked for over 2 years in the both restaurants, 6 nights, 6 mornings, just pizza every day. Like that was my whole life for 2 years. Then I made the whole transition to Posto and full time working there. And I started noticing how they made the pizza. Like they were using the pizza, whatever the pizza was left, they don't use it. We used to make breast sticks and then get rid of the rest. And I was like, oh, cool. In 2016, when I became the head chef, I have different ideas. I was like, I told the owner, I was like, I know you've been doing this for this many years, but I kind of have a different view of how this pizza can like be better. And he's like, oh yeah, fine. I trust you. I know that you've been here for quite a few times, so you know what's going on. So I started like, holding on the pizza. Instead of doing 1 day, I was doing 2 days. And it was a little complicated because, like I say,
Longer fermentation.
Longer fermentation means that you have to be very focused. Like if the walk-in 1 day goes up to 45 degrees because it's broken or something, like the dough is gonna like go so much, like so fast. So it's like very, it's a fine line that you cannot cross. So it was very important that the team was really listening to what I was saying, and then we started like no wasting any dough. I was like, because I don't, some people don't like the long period of fermentation, or like they say like, oh, the pizza is too old, like I like it fresh, but it just doesn't mean that. Like it's a long process, it's a long process, slow process, because it's something called room temperature fermentation and cold room temp fermentation. It's just a preference for us, which like I say, it's a little complicated because it takes more time. You gotta make sure like you always have dough. Like sometimes we run out on dough, like not run out on dough, but like I kind of had the feeling that we're selling so much, so I have to go downstairs and make dough because they cannot roll up the dough the next day within a few hours because the dough is not gonna look well. So it's a little complicated.
Does it must really come down to a lot of almost analog systems like production lists and time temperature logs and like all that sort of stuff. How do you build in structure for those things for the restaurant?
So we the thing is like what we used to have prep guys that were in the restaurant for 5-6 years, and people move on. We had to get new people and train them, and the other people, like they already know, like there were no books, there were nothing to tell them what to do. So with these new people came in, like we started having troubles with the dough. I was like, oh, pizza's not looking well. What's going on? So I usually get to the restaurant like noon, something around that, and they make the dough early because the time. And I was like, oh, you guys are doing everything? And they're like, yeah, we're doing everything. But I was like, no, the dough seems like very stiff. It's not like, working perfectly. So I noticed that they were not using the thermometer for the water, which is very important when you make pizza, right?
Yeah.
So you have a set temperature, and I was like, you have the thermometer there, and I just put it in one of the drawers, and I was like, I told them, use it. So I put a little tape to see if they grab it, and they never grab it. And I was like, oh, that's why.
You set a trap. You set a trap for them.
Yeah. And I was like, why? Would you guys? You don't need to lie to me. Like, just it's so simple. Just put it on the water, make sure the temperature is right, and then just go back and do the pizza. And they were like, okay, fine. I don't know why it was so hard for them. And then pizza started working well. And I was like, you see, it's a little simple thing, but change the whole thing. And then like I made videos for them. Like I made like actually videos. I don't like to make a lot of videos of the process because you don't want to risk it to like post it and people see it.
Yeah.
It's not like KFC secret recipe, but
so almost like training videos for them.
Training videos, but like very like a specific information that I never like actually share.
You don't want to broadcast it out. Correct. It's just for the staff.
Yeah, it's a business. It's not my business. So it's like, I don't want to like risk somebody else's business for some reason. And I was like, hey, look at these videos and follow the steps. Very simple. Then we like made like a little list of what they have to do. And, at the end they were like, okay, they start following the process and the dough started looking nice. And I was like, okay, cool.
So do you think that making the videos and starting to make sort of writing down the process helped with training new employees?
It does help a lot. I think what it helps most is just yourself being there and showing them how to do it. It's very important. Like you can go and read a recipe book, but it's not the same thing as like actually having somebody like can answer your questions. Because I'm always like 24/7. This phone is always there. Like they call me every single day for any reason. Like if I'm on vacation, like I never like tell them like don't call me or something like that because they always have questions. Even the you can say like it's not like very it's a logic thing, but like I put them in like the position that like try to make sure like they don't do anything without like if you're in doubt, just like ask. Like if you don't know what's gonna happen, just like ask. Like just
better
me
to ask questions.
than like mess up like 50 pounds of flour, and then like it's just like and the time that they spend doing that, it's just like be very, very open for them to like trust you, and like seeing like they can trust you on that kind of process.
So you said you're the head chef, but not the owner.
Yes.
What falls under your responsibilities at the restaurant? Is that, are you doing labor cost, food cost, budgeting? I'd love to know what falls under your responsibility.
Yeah, we do all that. We do labor cost. So I'm part of the restaurant is part of a restaurant group. They have like I think over 6-7 restaurants. 5 of them are Mexican. And then Posto is the only Italian one. So
really?
It's a little different. So yeah, like me as a executive chef, I do all like food costs. We gotta make sure we all food costs, inventory. We do all that labor costs. We gotta make sure we're on top of the numbers. Like make sure like everything it's under that. Like I say, they trust us a lot. So they're like very they let us like do all this kind of stuff. Even though the restaurant has like accounting team and all that stuff, like we're always like on top of that, like the training process. Like I'm always involved. I have 2 sous chefs now, but I'm always involved in like everything, like every decision. Like I'm always there. So I just like I like to always know what's happening. Like just to make sure we're on track.
Yep. You're not an owner, but you take ownership over it, which is which is huge. Yeah.
I really. I mean, I've been there for 14 years. Wow. So it's like my whole life, like to be honest, like I love that place, like, and like even after I became the executive chef, and they allowed me to like change things and for good, like I told him, I was like, if you don't if you feel that what we're doing here is not working, just let me know, because I don't want to change things for a crazy reason. I just feel that
if you're
I can
not
do it
happy
better.
with it. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And they're like, he trusts me so much, and you see the results now, like not only the awards, but like the amount of people that see and try a restaurant and they love it. And like I have people from Italy that come to the restaurant. They're like, oh, I haven't had a pizza like this since we were in Italy in vacation. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad like we can do that, for them.
Yeah. Have you been to Dalla Posta in Newton?
Yes, I've been there. Yeah.
Do you
I know
like
the
it?
chef. I know Mario. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Do you
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I like
that's
that.
that's the closest Neapolitan pizza to where I live.
Cool. Yeah. I don't know if he do 100% Neapolitan. I think it's a little mix. But it's really good. It's really good as well.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention something. We are a pizzeria, but we also a full restaurant as well. So we have pasta, steak, we have like many apps, all that. So it's like sometimes at these galas with the 50 top people, I was talking to them and they're like, hey, like they only do pizza. And I'm like, I wish we can only do pizza. I can be more focused on that. Like, but pizza is one, like we'll say 50% of the thing, or maybe 40 or something. But then we got to make pasta. Then we got to like make sure that all the apps are well. Like it's a lot of stuff that's going on. It's not only pizza. It's like a huge other thing. And so many people, sometimes people come to the restaurant and they think that it's a small pizzeria, and they go, it's a 100-seat restaurant. It's a full liquor license, it's wine bar. They go to the restaurant, they're like, wow, it's big. It's so, like, I thought it was like a small takeout spot or something. I was like, no, this is a real restaurant.
A
real restaurant.
So there have been a lot of changes sort of in the pizza industry in the last, 25 years, though it's always been popular. And I think it just continues to find different ways to have meaning in our culture. And, from the trends of Neapolitan to Detroit and Roman style. And we've now entered this place where pizza is so heavily ingrained in our culture that sort of home pizza has really taken off. And there are companies like Uni and Gosni and Breville. I don't know if you've seen the Breville indoor pizza oven.
The electric one.
Yeah. How has the availability of these home tools affected pizza culture, do you think?
Yes, I was about to say that because I am ambassador for Gosni.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm officially. I've been working with Gosney since 2020, around that. I'm part of the official team. When I was talking about in the pandemic that everybody started like doing sourdough and all that, that's when Uni and Gosney like increased
Yeah,
their
they
sales.
really, crazy sales. Yeah.
So they start like, getting in contact with people like me and other people in the industry to be part of their teams and like promote their brands and all that stuff. And I remember the owner of Gosney, Tom Gosney, one day he's like, "Oh, I love what you do at the restaurant. Like you want an oven? Like I want you to like try it and see if you like it." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Of course I want an oven."
Yeah.
So I got this like
I'll just
little
say
oven.
if Gosney also wants to send me a pizza oven, I am also happy to try it out. Just, putting it in the universe.
Oh, I got all of them because they send it to me all the time so we can like use it. So I got this tiny oven. I got the gas pipe and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to try it." So I tried with one of those for the restaurant, and I was like truly impressed and shocked that how quick it baked the pizza. It was like less than 60 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, it was the heat was very high. So the next pizza I made, I was like, oh, maybe I'll lower the heat, and still like 90. They say 90 seconds, and it was like restaurant quality. Like I was wow, I was blown away. I told them, I was like, wow, like I really didn't like trust at the first, like
I know.
And Gosney Star has industrial ovens.
Right.
And then they moved to the indoor. I'm sorry, not indoor, but like the small small ovens,
residential units. Yeah,
yeah. People's thinking that they Star has this, and then no, but they actually Star has a big brand of ovens.
I've used the Breville when I was at America's Test Kitchen. We did a lot of pizza oven testing, and I used the Breville and was just really blown away by how good it was, and that it's an indoor pizza oven, which I found
it's impressive.
Because we live in Boston, right? It feels like sometimes it feels like having an outdoor pizza oven is a challenge, right? I'm not in California where most of the year I can use an outdoor pizza oven. But the indoor pizza oven, and it just, man, that char on the bottom is impressive.
It's impressive. Yeah, it's a game changer. Yeah. It's
so doing work with Gosney must have kind of been one of the first times that you've almost leveraged your personal brand into a relationship with a company like that. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that and how that took place. And also, just kind of other licensing deals or promotional opportunity. I mean, any other thoughts for what you might want to do? Like I can see some bottled sauces maybe, or some other. Where's your head at these days with all that stuff?
So I don't I always say that I didn't want to be like just part of one brand because I want to try everything and I didn't want to close my doors to other brands, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm gonna only work as like exclusive for one brand if I really like trust it and like it. And that's what happened with Gosney. When I got the oven, I was like, wow, like they just start, right? And I was like, wow, this thing like can go really big. Like I was probably one of the first ones to like start like seeing those ovens, and I was blown away. And I was like, you know what? Like I never asked them to be an ambassador or something like that. After like a year, they came out. They're like, hey, Juan, like we're gonna roll this program with like celebrity people and some chefs and local chefs, and like we want you to be part of that. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like I'm very glad that you guys choose me, because I was like, I really love your brand, and I don't really like go for one brand of tomato sauce, because I got these people that like, hey, Juan, use or cheese only, like you're gonna get this and that. I'm like, no, I want to like explore more about the whole, because I don't want to like marry to one cheese and then not be able to like, try the different flavors and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And with Gosney was different, because I was like, I see in the future of the brand, and I was like, I want to be part of that. Like it's cool people, the product is great, like everything they do is amazing. Like the people that work with the Gosney team, is an amazing people. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be part of this, and first time for me to be part of like an actual company, working for them and working with them as well. Because it's not only that you work for them, like they work with you. Like if you ever need something, like they always there for you. So I really love that. And also it's a good product, because like they can like offer you money. Like, hey, say my pizza is good. And I was like, oh, for how much money? I'm not that kind of person, because I know that people follow me and they trust what I say. And I don't want to push people to some
break
brand.
That trust. Yeah. You've worked hard to build that trust with your
Correct.
followers.
So I want people to really, and I don't know, it's over 10 or 20 people that told me after I started doing the Gosney thing, they opened their own business with Gosney. Oh, you know what? I had no job and not in the US, but in the US also, but outside the US, oh, we got this oven and now I have a little pizzeria, thanks to you. And I'm like, oh, I love to hear that. They're it's probably the most rewarding thing, having that. And for me, I feel it's so much that you can do when you out in the social media, chefs say you can do sauce and olive oil and things like that. I don't know. I just feel that I want to explore the consulting thing first. I really like that.
Consulting with other people who want to start a pizzeria or want to become better at their pizzeria. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I like education as well. After I went to the class as a student, I actually did a little class at the same location for some other people like me as a teacher.
I would absolutely take a pizza class with you.
It was cool.
1,000%.
So it's funny that you say that because I want to say something that I don't know if you heard about the pizza. It's something called Pizza University by Mara Forney. They're located in Washington. Mara Forney. It's one of the biggest brands for pizza ovens in the country. So they have this thing called the Pizza University in Beltsville, Maryland, I think. And they have this whole educational camp that every month do different classes, every single type of pizza.
Oh my God, I want to go to pizza camp.
They had really cool chefs there doing classes. And I'm working with this nonprofit organization called Latinos in Pizza. That I can tell you a little bit more later. But we're going to do the first ever pizza class in Spanish or bilingual. That the Pizza University is next month in
that's amazing.
December. Yeah, so you're gonna try to do bilingual class. They never done it a Spanish class, so we're gonna be the first one doing it.
Surprising.
Yeah,
that's
it's
so
pretty
cool.
Yeah, we wanna open that little market because there's a lot of people here that doesn't speak the language and.
Well, and it's brilliant, right? Because there's probably a lot of people who are getting into pizza the same way that you did, right? By kind of seeing it from afar and wanting to try it and then getting the chance to get in there. And that's really smart. Well, we'll have to stay in touch on that because actually at Magic, we are going to be trying to bring in domain experts to offer either one-to-one or one-to-many type of engagements for education and teaching in their kind of area of interest. So that would be awesome to have you come do some pizza, some pizza knowledge on the people,
course.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about Latinos in Pizza, the nonprofit?
Yeah, of course. So we me personally, when I started this, I was probably one of the first Latino pizza makers to have numbers in social media. And that has been very I'm very proud of that because that has inspired many people to follow the same steps. And pizza is dominated by Italians, which is the ones that are proud of here, and of course American pizza makers. And with Latinos in Pizza, it was created by two people, Alessio Lacco, he's a guy from Naples, and Sofia Arango, that she's from Venezuela. And they create this little pizza mobile called the Atlanta Pizza Truck in Atlanta. So they do catering and all that stuff. And, we got together in 2022 at the Pizza Expo. And we start talking about how they were very impressed with my numbers and how many people I can reach and how proud I am to be Latino and being in this industry and be recognized by these people. And they go to the 50 top and mostly all of them are Italians and Americans. And you don't see many Latinos there. And I was it inspired people to be hey, if you can do it, you can also do it. So we got together and start this nonprofit organization that is going to be more we want to close the gap between the Latino people and the pizza industry and help them to like, be involved. Like the language barrier, it's something that is real. And when you go to these kind of classes and they start talking about like numbers and all that stuff, and you don't understand like what they're saying, it's very complicated. Like even for me that I, somehow I know a little bit of English, like I have to like still like translate things on my phone, and just imagine it for somebody that doesn't like speak the language at all. So
Exactly.
Your English is excellent, so I can imagine if it's still confusing for you, I can imagine it's really
I think the
challenging.
numbers, the words and all that. So we want to like make sure we, be there to close the gap and like push the Latino community more inside the pizza industry, and that's what we're doing. Like right now, they have a team of 13 pizza makers from South America competing in Italy. Right now they're competing, so it's the first ever Latin team that's gonna compete there. So this is what Latinos in Pizza is doing. Like we're planning to do like a little tour in South America soon to like, have people more involved with the brand. Like here in the US, we're already like getting to get together with many like other companies that are like, really supporting the initiative of being being that little Latino community of pizza makers, like, and that's exciting. Like I'm excited to be part of that. Like when they told me like, hey, you want to be part of that? I was like, yeah. I mean, I've been trying to do that by myself.
Yeah.
Trying to like push it, and having an organization now that has like a face, and me being part of that, like, it's just like, I love that.
That's amazing. I love it.
Are you able to use your social media to help promote Latinos in pizza, or do you sort of keep them separate, or do you talk about it on your social media?
No, I actually, when they first started, like I was the one that was pushing everything, like collaborating with them on videos, like kind of like became one of the faces for them to grab more people to join us.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the page is moving alone, like I'm always there, but I'm like, I push them. So I'm still involved with them. We have many, many plans, but, I want to like make sure people knows that it's not about me. It's not my thing. It's like, it's a community. And I think last month they got the nonprofit organization thing from the IRS. So it's a huge thing for them now that they can like start working on that with brands, and brands are a little complicated to work with. Like there's big brands of flour and tomatoes, and you gotta like really present yourself and like make sure like they trust the process. And what happened with Latinos in Pizza is like people really love it. People really know how like great the Latino community is in this country, and how well and involved in the restaurants they are. Like how important for the restaurants the Latino community is, and we want to like be part of that and make sure we like get this movement going. Yeah.
So what's your strategy when it comes to creating content that feels like you and connects with both loyal locals and newcomers, and you've spoken about international people as well?
Yeah. I have something like, it's funny because, like some people start like doing the trends, right? When something is popular, like people start doing it, and they believe that if they do it, they're going to have 1 million likes. They're going to have all that. Not like, you probably have to first like, do your thing and show people what you do. Like I make those funny videos sometimes, and people love that. And the comments are like out of the country, but it's just like, I do it once in a while just for fun. But I want to make sure like people know me for what I do, not because of like a viral video.
Trend.
Trend. And people sometimes are like, oh yeah, we've been posting like all these trend videos and we don't get followers, we don't get people to see I'm like, because everybody do it. And why?
It's hard to cut through the noise.
Yeah, why will people see your video when somebody that has 100,000 followers do the same video? Like you can't compete with that, but you have something that they don't have, and it's your
whatever your product is.
Yeah, whatever your product, your capacity to do things, and that's what we do. Like I have this, people love what I do in the oven, like the wood fired oven, and how quick the pizzas bake and the fire, and like And always you get comments like, "Oh, the heat is too high," and then I'm like, okay, yeah, you see it on, yeah, it's your opinion, but it's like people don't understand what's the point of that. Like you have 8 pizzas that has to bake at the same time, and you cannot bake it without the flame going on. It's just like like I don't listen to that anymore. But the what I do is like when you start posting, when I start posting myself, I start like noticing what people like the most, right? I see when I do the stretching videos, people love it. Like people love it. Many people see it and they're like, "Oh, I learned how you do it," and because like I'm like, this is the way I do it. It's not the right way or the wrong way, but you want to do it, and
it works for you.
Yeah, I get tagged in like 10 videos a week of people trying the stretching, and they're like, "Oh, I'm stretching like you," and I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." So that engage people, right?
Yeah.
The big flame in the oven engage people. Just how it looks, like when you know about the pizzeria, like but like for somebody that's not involved in the industry, and they seen this crazy video of the flame going, they're like, "Wow, what is that?" Like I'm trying to show people things that they don't see it often. Like you go to my restaurant, right? You go to Posto, and you don't see the flame. You see the little window, and you see the guys baking it, but you don't see what's inside, right? And that's what I want to show people, like what's inside the oven. Because they can see what's outside, and they can see the final product, but they don't see what's the whole process of it. And
yeah, I love that.
So with so many places, with so many people trying to find places to eat through search, how do you approach SEO and digital visibility? Any tips for other restaurant owners and operators? Like Matt was saying, there's just a lot of noise. How do you do that?
So I think everybody knows that the good when people go to your restaurant, right, and then you know that you're giving them good quality, like the reviews are gonna like flow to you back, right? Good food, good quality. Like when you go to Google, like if you have good reviews, like they're gonna show you first, right? And that helps. Like if you talk about social media, the restaurant actually doesn't do a lot of social media besides what I do. Like the like the page of the poster, like they don't post the video I do. It's just like it's me, the one doing it for myself, but I also like share for the restaurant. I think what it's called the attention of the people around the city or country. It's a good quality. The good quality that what we process. Like there's so many new pizzerias opening around us, and I wish them the best of luck. But for some people in the company, they were worried about it. They're like, "Oh, there's so many pizzerias doing the same kind of thing that we do opening. And, we got to compete with them. We got to do a lot of promotion." And I was like, I think the best promotion we can do is the good quality, because everybody will go to the new restaurant no matter what it is. Like I go to any new restaurant just to try it. And then, like sometimes you come back, sometimes you don't come back, but you go to like Posto after, like, I seen a review from somebody that went in 2012, something like that. And she came back from other city and she was visiting somebody, and she's like, "Oh, I sat down at the bar and I grabbed food," and I was blown away. Like, it's impressive. Like, it was the same quality, but even better. Like after 12 years, and she posted on Google, and I was like, what's a better promotion than somebody like being very honest in saying that? And it's just that. It's just the good quality. Like, of course, social media helps a lot. Like, I am a social media people. Like, I base my whole career in social media. But for some people, like for the companies, they don't really believe and much about that. And I understand that, because like everybody posts their things, right? And it's so much to see and so much to watch that you see this restaurant and then you see another video and then you forget about that.
That's
so the
true.
experience, you want to bring people good experience. Like we had this, it's a crazy thing that happened to us like a month ago. A guy, he follows me, right? And he makes videos, he makes food reviews in TikTok and Instagram. And he came to the restaurant and, he reviewed 5 pizzas. I have a pizza called almondine. It's almonds, toasted almonds.
Dude, that one gets me in the heart.
It's a 4 cheese.
4 cheese and toasted almonds, right?
Toasted almonds. And we use Mike's hot honey. Mike's hot honey on top. I started making this pizza back with pine nuts, with every single nut. And then I was like, I'm going to do almonds. And I put it on the menu. And people really liked it. And people was like, oh, I never, like, it's something you don't see very often in pizzerias. And that's another thing that we do. Like, we do the classics. Like, you can get the same classics.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of different pizzas. Like,
a lot of different innovative ideas. Yeah.
I got a peach and prosciutto like crazy. And this guy made the top 5 for him. And that video blows out of proportion. Yeah. Like, it came out on a Wednesday night. And next day, on Thursday, we almost sold out of dough. And I was like, what happened? So I seen the tag that the guy did. And I was like, oh my God, it's because of this video. So I ran downstairs and I made dough because I was like, if this happened today, next day is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And that happened. Like, the next day was very busy and the video started going viral. And what happened is this is a local influencer, which for me, like, I post a video and it has like 2 million views, but from the US, but from all over the world. Like, this guy is a local influencer. He doesn't have many followers, but the people that follow him is local.
They trust him.
committed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And next,
I follow him.
Yeah. The videos. The following week, we sold 330 pizzas in like 5 hours. It was insane. Like, we started like doubling the dough. Like I remember I stretched. I work on pizza station only one day a week on the Saturday nights because I don't want to do expo all week.
Yeah.
So, and I want to be in the kitchen sometimes.
You want to
I want to leave the stress to somebody else. And I did stretch that day. And I remember I went home and my arms were like tight. I was like, oh my God, there's so much stretching.
From all the dough.
We ended up selling 332 pizzas in like 5 hours. It's like a pizza per minute. And another thing about Posto is the takeout business there. It's insane. It's crazy. Like, we sell over 100 or 150 pizzas just for takeout on a Friday night. It's like having 2 restaurants. Like, we tell people that, like, it's just like you have 2 restaurants at the same time. Like, we do 300 covers on a Friday night, 340, and then you do a lot of takeout as well. So it's like a non-stop thing for hours and hours. So the social media, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't agree with people that say the social media doesn't work, because it really works. It's like, it can like really kill your restaurant, but it also can like push you to the limit.
Yep.
And for us was like, I was like, we're busy. We're a busy restaurant. Thanks God, it's a good restaurant. People really liked it.
Good problem to have, right? Yeah.
It's a good problem. But I was like, at the same time, it's like, and I started noticing that every single ticket that we got was almond pizza, peach pizza, almond pizza, peach pizza, almond pizza. And we went through like so much hot honey, like crazy. Like, I never bought so much hot honey. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, it's a boom that is going to happen for like a week. No, the following week, it's been like 2 months or like a month, and the place still like, you don't get reservations on weekend.
It's because it just keeps getting picked up, probably, right? By the algorithm and just kind of getting spewed into people's feeds.
Yeah, and it was cool because he was talking about the 50 top, and like he's like, oh, like how I never tried the restaurant, and it's funny because the following week he's like, hey, thank you, and all that stuff, and it's like, hey, we have to do the second part with you there, and I was like, we gotta hold on that for a bit.
Let the restaurant recover a little bit.
Yeah. I wouldn't want more promotion now. Like, it was funny because, like, he's like, oh, I'm so, was so bummed that you weren't there, because I wasn't there the day when he went. And he's like, oh, we gotta do it again. I was like, oh yeah, we'll do it again, but gotta wait.
That's maybe amazing. In 6 months.
Yeah. We have to wait until things calm down, because it's a little too much.
Who is the one person you hired that transformed your business?
That's a good question. I think my sous chef that is currently my sous chef. His name is Marlon. I hired him to work at the food truck. We had a food truck, a pizza truck. He was very young. He was probably 18, something like that, 19. No knowledge at all. He didn't know anything at all. But when I talked to him the first time, he was having the same thoughts of, like me. I see myself in him. Like, he loves how to cook, very kind person, and he really, like, everything I say, he listened to it. He was very focused on the job, and he worked in the food truck for over 2 years. And when my other sous chef was moved to another location for the company, I told the owner, and I was like, hey, I know this guy doesn't know anything, like, at all, but I can make him a sous chef if you want. And he's like, oh, yeah, of course. And I started the whole process from nothing to, like, now, like, I can travel all over for weeks, and he can stay at the restaurant and still manage the restaurant. Like, he do it all. Like, he has great ideas. He loves pizza. He loves cooking. It's awesome. An amazing thing. Yeah. And it's been like 7 or 8 years now, and we're still there.
It's got to be so rewarding for you.
Yeah. Really like him. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What has been the most successful marketing decision that you've made?
Oh, that's
probably social media.
Yeah, social media. When TikTok came out, right? My brother was like, hey, Juan, you got to download TikTok. You got to post it on TikTok. Like, everybody's going. And I was like, no, I don't like it. For over 2 months. And one day I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I download it, and I posted a video, and that video got like 5 million views very quick.
Oh my God, the first one?
The second one, the first one. And
that's insane.
It was funny because the second month, I went to like 10,000, 20,000 followers. And I told my brother, I was like, do you know how many followers I have on TikTok? He's like, how many? I was like, oh, like over 10,000, 20,000. And it's in like a month. And he's like, oh, I thought you don't like it. I thought you're never going to. And it was good because it opened a lot of business for me, because people was like, oh, I thought you don't TikTok. Like, yeah, it was crazy. So social media, it's like absolutely the best thing. Yeah.
That's wild.
All right. Last question. What's the one tool you use every day?
My phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be like, that's another thing for people that always ask me, like, how do you like create more engagement? Is like, you got to post at least one time, like one story, one post. Like, don't go too long without posting, because people, it's a moving world, and people start forgetting about you. Like, unless you're a famous people, like really famous people, and you can post every two months, whatever, people's gonna, But when you're like somehow trying to build something, like, you have to be there. It's like your job. Like, you have to go there. Like, it happens with my wife. Like, I'm on my phone, but posting things. I'm not like, it's just like, we're watching a movie, and I'm like, yeah, but I gotta post this, because sometimes I came out with ideas, or sometimes I remember that I filmed a video and I didn't post it. And I'm like, oh, I forgot that. So I grab my phone, and she's like, no. And I'm like, this is like my part time, like,
right.
Like, I have to, like, it's my second job. So that's probably my phone. Like,
one year I gave my wife, when I was kind of really crazy for social media, I gave Kate these little cards that say, like, get off your phone, asshole. And it's like every time she used the card, it was good for like one instance for me to put the phone away and to spend dedicated time on her. Well, there was probably a stack of like 10 or 12 cards at that time that I gave it to her. So she used one in the beginning, oh, funny, and then they kind of disappeared, and I forgot all about them. But then, like, fast forward 6 years, and all of a sudden we're like out to dinner, and I'm like, hold on, I just got to get and she's like, she gives me the card. They're still here. So they resurface every now and then. So
it's a phone thing is a little complicated thing. Yeah. But
you need like you need to like do the headset at the restaurant or something.
Oh yeah, I actually got a GoPro the other day, but the quality was not like was not what I like. It's an action camera, and I was like, I was a little sad, because I was like, I wish it would work better. Yeah. So.
People would be think it might be a little funny though, walking by a Pizzolo that has a
GoPro
one. Yeah,
but it would be pretty cool, because sometimes when I'm doing it, I'm like, oh man, like, it's a sort, like, even for me after all this many years, like, I sit down in front of that oven and I seen like the movement of the restaurant, like the whole action and how quick they go, and it's like, I wish everybody can like see it, but we'll get to the point to do that. So